Hey everybody, it's your man Tyke coming to you with another true spook story. Now before I begin, I'm gonna ask that you hit that like button. Don't subscribe to the channel, and I want you guys to share me if you're feeling the content. But diving on into this piece right here, man, we just gonna get into it. So again, these are real life stories. And I gotta say trigger warning because you may shed a tear, you may get a little spooked out, you may, just even come to the reality that certain things happen. It just sit back and enjoy the story. Just know it's a trigger warning, flashing light warning, tear jerk, all that shit may come up. I don't know, but so this is gonna be about the time when I was 6 years old. Uh, it was 1984. We was living in the Ivy Lane projects off of Ivy Lane Road and Edgemore Street. The first cluster to the right. If you're coming off of if you're coming from Old Wintergarden Road. Now, prior to my family moving into the apartment, but to the project there, my mom and us we lived out of a car. My mom was heavy on drugs and everything like that, and I mean, as far as my memory go back, she got off drugs when I was six years old in 1984. But my memory goes back prior to that, and I had to be about 3, 4 years old. I think 3 or 4. So my mom had got strung out on drugs. I don't know what the deal was that got her out there on those drugs or something, but it was crack cocaine and marijuana that she was hooked on. At that time, my grandmother was disappointed in her, so she was like, "You can't come live with me." And she was cursing her every day. And my mom, she was she wasn't Christian at all, and she was quite a good looking woman and could dance really good. So she was for the streets. It is what it is. No love lost. So I remember when I was 4 years old, and my uncle. By the way, this story gonna have a lot of parts to it. So my uncle Dallas, he was supposed to be a practicing minister, but he was molesting all his fucking stepkids. That was something else. That's the guy who throat I cut when I turned 16. So I mean, I probably done told you that. If not, you'll hear it in the future. So I'm 4 years old, and my mom is strung out on crack cocaine, and nobody wanted to deal with her. So my mom was toting us around. She only had 4 kids. My mom got 5. My sister, Big Butt, made the fifth ring. But so my mom just was toting around my toting around her 4 kids. I mean, turning around her 3 kids plus myself. And I remember my uncle Dallas. He wouldn't let my mom come stay with him inside his house because he was like she was on crack, and he wouldn't even let the kids come stay in the house, and it was cold. I remember it was around by uh, Christmas time, a little bit before Christmas or right past Christmas, because I remember the house on Dollings Avenue where my uncle Dallas lived had the house had Christmas tree lights on it, and he had this old station wagon, probably and it was a newer car, probably like a 1980 station wagon. And he told my mom, "Well, you guys can sleep in the station wagon." And he gave us some blankets, and he didn't give her the key to turn on the heater or nothing, but he gave us some blankets, some sheets, some blankets, some towels and stuff. He let us all come in there and take a bath, and then he told us we had to get out of his house and go back to the car to sleep. So my mom took the front seat. My oldest sister, she took the other front seat. So yeah, left in the back was my brother, myself, and my sister. That's that's 2 years older than me. So those two, the way it worked, my brother would lay, and I remember it because we told the story so many times. So my brother allowed my sister to lay on the back seat, and I was so small at the time that on the passenger side, the right side, the passenger side, the floorboards in the back, I, balled up like a little grape nut and wrapped a towel around me. And my brother would put his feet on me, and my sister would put her feet on me to keep me warm. But it's still the floorboard of the car. This is where all the cool air is coming up from the metal in the little thin carpet. So I was shivering my ass off until they put their feet on me and they threw their blankets around me. So it was like that. And we had to stay in that car for about, we stayed sleeping in that car for about a month or two. And nobody would trust my mom because she was getting off drugs. Now, Uncle Dallas was he's a real piece of shit. He was a fake preacher, fake Christian, fake all of that shit, man. He was just doing some bad shit to his kids and cheating on his wife, and he just was doing all that shit. So it was just, nobody likes him. So now while my mom was trying to get off drugs, and she was trying, from what the stories that my older sister would tell me, she was trying. And she had joined this church. And I told you guys about this church. It was St. Luke Missionary Baptist Church off of Bruton Boulevard in Orlando, Florida. I'm putting it out there, fuck it. And she was misled to feel like she was so incompetent that she had put us under the custody of the pastor of the church. Like he was our guardian. They had tricked her, and he was getting the little social security checks or whatever, the food stamps and shit. They had to go through him, and he would give it to my mom to get this. It was that type of fucked up situation. I still don't understand it to this day, other than he tricked her or fucked her over. So the pastor of that church still didn't give us anywhere to stay. Although he was our guardian, we had to be carted around town with our mother. I'm a little pamper baby, 2-3 years old, so she's holding me and on her hip, and she's trying to get off drugs, and she's trying to kick the addiction and everything. And she went through we went through hell while my mom was trying to get off drugs for 3 years, dealing with the church and dealing with family that didn't like her, and dealing with my shiesty ass Uncle Dallas and his pastor from this church. So now I'm growing up living from pillar to post, young kid. My mom trying to get out of drugs. She done gave her life to Jesus Christ, and everything's going all good. So she goes out there, she get her shit together, she go get on food stamps, she take it back. My grandma finally stepped in and was like, "Sam, you a nasty bitch. You got my daughter out here in the streets and you getting all her food stamps and welfare checks? You nasty bitch. Preacher or not, bitch, I need you to sign them over or I'm gonna fuck your world up." And he was like, whatever. So, but then he ended up, signing it over. So when my mom got all the information right and got custody of us again, got guardianship over us again, the welfare people gave her a house in the project. Now this took about 2-3 years. Now we was sleeping out of Uncle Carr for 2-3 years off and on. Sometimes he'll let us come in the house, take a shower, go to sleep, or my mom would get involved with dudes, and we would all have to sleep in his living room on the floor while she going to do what she had to do. It was a struggle situation, and I could respect women. I think that's why I got a lot of sympathy in me for women who have to do what they got to do, at least back in them days. So 3 years passed. My mama going to church steady. She trying to get kicked off drugs. So 1984 come. I'm 6 years old. Mama done kicked the habit. She going to church. She doing good. 1984. Ooh, that was a good year. We had a whole bed to lay in that day. We moved into the project, 4413 Edgewood Street. moved in. I say, oh my God, a bed. I'm a little fella too, little chubby little kid. Oh my God, a bed. So I ran in there and I laid down the bed because this place called the Mustard Seed here in Orlando. They had donated some used furniture to my mom and donated some clothes and some shoes to us and shit. So we was living it up. High on the hog, man. No more sleeping on the floorboard of a car or, having to hang out with a pedophile ass uncle. So we moved into the house, to the apartment project. And this is where it's finna get a little creepy, and you guys are gonna understand what I'm talking about. So my mom moved us in there. She's doing good. She's going to church. So one of my mom's friend named Dorothy come back around. Dorothy was for the no, I'm not Dorothy. I'm sorry. Dorothy came then last. My mama friend Claudette came then. Now Claudette, she was a dancehall queen, Jamaican dancehall queen. Now Claudette never did crack, but Claudette never stopped my mama from doing crack, and they had been friends for a long time. Claudette just, fuck with Jamaican dudes and smoke weed and coke and shit. But my mama, she was the crack pipe and shit like that. So me and my mama and them done. Me and my mama and sister and them moved into the projects on Ivy Lane Road and shit in 1984. So Claudette come back around. My mama in the church. My mama Claudette doing bad. So my mama say, okay, you can stay here. I know how I feel to be homeless. Some shit done fucked up. You could catch the living room couch as a TV, and now my mama was very hospitable. So now Claudette in there doing cocaine in the middle of the living room, and I'm a little boy, and I wake up. So I had a problem pissing. So I let me stop it right there. So I gotta tell you. So at the age of 6, I had a problem pissing. I didn't piss the bed, but what I used to do, I would get up, and I was afraid to go into the bathroom to piss. That was due to the molestation that I talked about last video. Hated the bathroom. So I would get up and I would take a piss, and I would go in the kitchen behind the counter, like behind the washing machine, and I would like piss in a bucket. For some odd reason, I placed the bucket there unknowingly. But I would always get up in the middle of the night and go back there and piss because I was always afraid if I go in the bathroom, Aunt would try me, or the situation with my mama back in the day would try me. So Claudette is in the living room. She coming in, she doing her drugs and shit. She doing whatever it is. She doing coke, weed, whatever. And I'm a little boy, so I wake up in the middle of the night to go take a piss. I hear her telling, go ahead, girl, try it. It ain't gonna hurt. You clean, you stronger than this shit, man. Just have some fun. You done achieve, celebrate. So I see my mama bend down and she take a tube. Boom. My mama like, oh. So she feeling good. So my mama make these crazy little faces like she wasn't even really high yet, but she'll just make a face to make everybody laugh. She was just a life of the party type lady. So now for about 2 hours, her and Claudette and that bitch getting skeeted up. So I said, oh shit. So I stumble in there. She see me and she embarrassed. So she spanked my ass. I go back in the room. I go to sleep. I remember what I seen. I'm halfway sleeping, so I know she was doing it. So when I wake up, Grandma come over there to look at the house and make sure Mama doing her thing because we had just got the plate. So when Grandma come, I say, Grandma, Mama had some powder on that table, some baby powder, and she was laughing with a beer in her hand. Told me to tell you if she did that to let you know. And my grandma like, okay, bitch, if y'all sitting up here and you gonna go back out there in them streets, I ain't gonna say shit to y'all motherfuckers. Y'all gonna die in them streets. So my mom got mad and she spanked my ass. And grandmama, and this is what grandma did, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I ain't gonna keep nothing from you, transparency. Grandma said, well, I'm taking him with me. You ain't gonna mistreat him and her. This is my sister, Shanette. You ain't gonna treat Tyke and Shanette like shit. You can treat them other heathens you got in there, them big head niggas. You can treat them, but I'm taking them. So grandma loaded us up in the Buick, floated out. And grandma saying, by the way, bitch. She slapped the shit out of Claudette, and when she slapped the shit out of Claudette had some gold teeth in her mouth, but one of her gold teeth fell out and grandma yanked that bitch up off the ground real quick. And then my mama said, hey mama, give me Claudette too. grandma said, "Fuck you, bitch. Get out them drugs. Get them drugs." And grandma, because grandma hate people who do drugs. So my mama went out there trying to wrestle grandma. Grandma slammed mama on the ground. And when grandma slammed mama on the ground, she pulled a piece of her hair out. She said, "Come on." Now I distinctly remember grandma yanking my mama hair because my mama had a Jerry curl. So grandma put my sister in the room, put her to bed, and this is the first spell I did with grandmama. She said, "Come here." I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Walk in them woods pon yonder and get me that purple flower, that purple and white flower right there." I said, "Yes, ma'am." So I walk over there and I picked a little white flower with the purple center on it. I don't know what it's called. I picked up a bush. She said, "Bring it, champ." "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Go get me a pot out there kitchen." I ran in the pot, got a black pot out the kitchen. She put the flowers in the pot. She put that in there. And she said, "I need you to go over there. Walk in them bushes." Say, "Don't get stuck. But I want you to drag yourself through the bushes. And then just drag yourself, count to 10, and come back over here with me." "Yes, ma'am." So I went over there and did just what she said, drag myself through the bushes. Now, what I was dragging myself through the bushes, I was getting these shit called sand spurs here in the South. We call them sand spurs. We call them cuckabugs or sticker bugs. But it's just a little motherfucking things that stick to your clothes and they'll stick you. Them bitches horrible. So she made me take off my little socks and my little breeches and shit that they had got stuck on, and she just kept picking them. She put them in the pot with the little purple and white flowers and shit. She went and she got some delousing powder and she got some itching powder. I don't even know if they sell this shit again. Listen to me good. I'm giving you a spell, people. And she threw Claudette tooth in there, and she threw my mama hand in that pot. And grandma started mixing that shit up with a little bit of water. Then she put some gin in that motherfucker. Then she put a little motherfucking cinnamon, and she put some Tabasco sauce in that bitch. I remember it was fire hot sauce. She stirred it up. And she said, she called out my mama full name. My mama full birthday, and she spit in the pot. And grandma said, "Put this up in that closet. Open container, everything." So I took the pot, I put it in the closet. I said, "Okay." She said, "Come on, baby, get grandma a hug. Go on, get you some rest, take a bath." So grandma had us for like 2-3 days. When we got back home, I walked in the house. My mama had all kind of whips and bruises all over her body, right? And she was just scratching, itching. She was just scratching her skin. She was scratching her skin so bad. And my grandma said, "Grandma, mama's sick. She got whips on her. Somebody beat mama with a switch." She said, "What?" So she went in there. Mama had been, because my mama was a fairly light-skinned woman. And she just had all these scratch marks and whips on her and shit like that. So grandma was like, "That spirit beating that bitch ass. That spirit beating that bitch ass for getting high." And she said every time she think about getting high, she gon' itch. Every time that motherfucker touch a piece of drug, she gon' itch. It's up to her to stop the itching. So my mama said, okay, grandma was doing voodoo. She was hot, she was mad. My mama went to the church. My mama tried to get it prayed off. My mama went to another voodoo person, tried to get it voodooed off. They were like, "We can't touch this." Say, "This is directly for you." And so my mama, like, she finally went to grandma and said, "How can you do this?" And grandma said, "You need to take your ass back to drug rehab. I'll watch the kid." My mama was saying she didn't have a problem, but Claudette was still living on the couch. So finally, my mama went to drug rehab. And when she walked through that drug rehab, my mama was itching for 7 days. So after she started getting help, grandma took the pot down, and the only thing grandma did is cover that pot up with a white cloth. She wrapped it in a white pillowcase now. She wrapped it in a white pillowcase and tied it with a knot. She said she gonna tie it in 2 knots. Remember that. And she said if she ever get on them drugs again, you know how to come up here and open this thing up. I said, "Yes, ma'am." So the itching stopped. Now my mama liked these nasty ass cookies called pecan sandies. So grandma handed my mama a bag of pecan sandies. And I'm finna tell you, y'all gonna learn a lot from this right here, people. Pecan sandies. And they used to be good back in the day, but the new recipe's shitty. Now, so my grandma say, ever you get the itchy, you eat these pecan sandy shortbread. And the yellow is gold is beige is bag. My mama, that's the only thing could stop my mama craving. So I used to have to walk to the store and get my mama them pecan sandies. She ate them shits for years. Man, let me tell you something. My mama got off them drugs, and she was off them drugs for a long time. Claudette was still heavy on drugs. So now, fast forward a little bit. I'm about 12, 13 years old. I know I'm 12 years old because it was 1 year before Auntie got killed. So I'm 12 years old. We've been living in the project 6 years. I'm doing good. Grandma done did a spell, to fuck mama up if she ever do drugs again. So turning 13, my mama done forgot about the pot. So I go out there and I see my mama smoking some weed for fun. Now she fucking around with she back fucking with my oldest sister daddy. And so I go to grandma's house, 12 years old, climb on the shelf, get the pot out, and I take the 2 knots out of it because it's been sitting up there. When I take the 2 knots out of it, I put it back up there and put the pillowcase right next to it. I'm itching right now, goddamn. So I go up there and I do it. So I go home, didn't think nothing of it. My mama come running out the room, jumping in the tub. Oh, the itchiness of my skin burning, my flesh burning. And I'm just watching my mama in the shower scrubbing that shit off, trying to scrub it off. So I walk past the shower door because she ain't even closed it. She in the shower with the shower curtain closed, with the hot water steaming in that bit. And she trying to stop her skin from itching. And she like, oh God, what I did. And I said, well, grandma said if you ever get high again, you gonna itch. Remember grandma did that pot on you? And she said, that just was some weed. That ain't no crack. That ain't no coke. That's just some damn weed. Everybody smoke weed. I said, grandma don't play by drugs, mama. You 12-year-old bitch, you don't know nothing. My mama cursed me out like a dog. You 12-year-old no good bitch, I can't stand you. I hate you. You always run around doing shit with her. You make me fucking sick. I mean, my mama let me have it, and I'm just being light on the words, people. I felt real bad, right? So now I'm like, okay, I gotta get to grandma's house and cover this pot up, because I know my mama gonna love me again if I could tell her, I uncovered the pot and I stopped the itch. And by the time I can do anything, my mama was so enraged, and I guess her spirit knew that I had done it or something, I don't know. But my mama had ran outside butt naked and got a switch off the tree. She started beating me so bad. She said, if I got an itch, I'm gonna make her favorite kid itch. Just started whooping my ass with a switch, and I'm like whips all over me and shit. So the next door neighbor, Miss Barbara, ended up calling grandma. They like, your daughter over here just abusing them children. She crying and she half naked, whooping them with a towel on. Get over here. But grandma come over there, and grandma came over there with her 32, and she was like, if you don't get your hands off of them damn children, I'll put a bullet in you, bitch. I got a rough family. So my mom was like, I just don't know what happened. I just can't stand him. Get him out of my fucking sight. Get him out of my fucking sight. And grandma like, go get in the car, baby. Go get in the car. So grandma like, why are you hitting him? Why you running around naked? Like, I can't stop itching. Grandma say, Grandma didn't know I did it to the pot. I opened the pot because I seen my mama smoking weed. And grandma was like, I don't know. Grandma said, I'm gonna go check on things. So grandma get in the car and she be lining to a spot to make sure the pot ain't fell over, a rat ain't ate through the bag and exposed it. So she ain't got no business itching, everything covered up. I covered it up. And I told grandma what happened. I seen mama smoking weed. I uncovered the pot so she can do it. Grandma gave me a kiss on the forehead and she said, you did good, baby. Now I'm finna stop it right there. Cause now this is the spooky shit finna get started. Now that was dramatic and I ain't cry. Surprised I made it through. So stop it right there. I'm in the car with grandmama. And while I'm in the car with grandmama, we heading back to the house to cover the pot up. So as me and grandma headed back to the house to cover the pot, I was gonna stay at her house and go to school from her house. We happened to see Claudette walking up the road, some kind of black leather, and now she done got a tooth fixed. She done got a cap or some shit in her tooth. So grandmama see Claudette, pass her, and Claudette had a very nice shape to be an old Jamaican girl, thick body, Lord have mercy. And grandma circled that bent that Buick, U-turned that motherfucker right. And when grandma U-turned that motherfucker, she came back and she flew around there and she said, "The bitch I should have put the spell on is her." So grandma ran over there to Claudette and she pulled the gun on and said, "Don't go to my daughter's house. Turn your ass around the sidewalk." Claudette talking that Jamaican shit, but she spent around. So when she spent around, grandma grabbed a fistful of her hair, because didn't nobody wear no weed back then. It was real grown hair and shit, people. Grandma grabbed a lot of that bitch, a lock of that bitch hair out, and grandma pushed on the ground and put the gun in her face like, "You ever come around my daughter again, I'm gonna shoot you." So Claudette like, "You're gonna get yours, you're gonna get yours, you old bitch, you're gonna get yours. That's my friend. That's my fucking friend." She's like, "You're a cancer hoe, you're a bitch, you garbage, you ruining my daughter's life. Wham, 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 wham." So Claudette like, she gonna pay, she gonna pay. So grandma went home, and I'm telling you now, it's the crazy shit. Grandma went home and she had me go through the sticker bush again. This time she didn't use a pot. She had me go get them sticker bush. She had grabbed so much of Claudette hair that she had me hold one end. And as she was braiding Claudette hair together, she would put the sticker bud in Claudette hair. Like press it down in the braid that she had, and she would braid over it. Press some more sticker bush in there, like interbeating some bitch's hair. And so after she had got through braiding all these sticker bush in that lock of Claudette hair, and she said, "I want you to put it right there, and I want you to step on it, baby. Get your shoe." So I'm laughing. And I'm 12 years old. Grandma said, "Jump off the building." I'm jumping. So she had it down there, and she made a circle with some Florida water and fire and salt and cinnamon and Tabasco sauce, like dripping on there. And I'm just jumping up in the circle, laughing. And she said, "Kick it, kick it." We laughing. She done bought me some popcorn and a root beer soda. My fat ass over there just enjoying it. So the next day, after about an hour of me jumping on the bitch, grandma pick it up, put it in a plastic bag, and leave it outside under the chair that she used to sit on her porch, a little rocking chair. We going out the road. We see Claudette, and Claudette just sitting up under a tree, like where all the drunks hang out. Still had on the same clothes from the night before. So grandma pull over and say, "What's wrong with that bitch?" They just say, out of nowhere, she just said she had a screaming headache and her head couldn't stop hurting. And she just took a razor blade and start like scratching her scalp with it, and her scalp all bloody. Say, you put some alcohol on it and some peroxide. That's what they said. They put some peroxide on it, but she just couldn't get it together. So they say one dude finally gave her some sleeping medicine, and she just passed out, and she been sitting in this chair asleep. That was the only thing stop her from crying, like she was holding her head going crazy. And grandma said, "Good for the bitch." So now grandma down. That's that. So now go back. Now me and grandma going back in the car. We headed home. This is after she done did the Claudette shit. That she done grabbed Claudette hair and shit. Go back home, and I tell her about the pot. She go in there. She instantly get the pot. She see it uncovered. Put the white pillowcase back over it. Put 2 knots in it. Tie it back up there. My mama stop itching. My mama called my grandmama. "Mama, I don't itch no more." Ooh. Yeah, well, you did abuse my grandson, and you got to pay for that. Now I need you to go buy him some shoes and some nice clothes, because when I drop him off, if not, I'm gonna undo that pot again. So grandma always held that pot over my mama's head till the day she died, I believe. So now mama sitting up there angry, pissed off because grandma had this pot, and my mama like to get high. It is what it is. So my mama starts substituting, different. She wasn't getting high. That's when I'm a grown person now. The epidemic of the opioids popped out. Mama was doing good in church, all that shit. Opioids popped out, pills. So the doctor was prescribing her these goddamn oxycodones and shit. So the pot had been covered up. I'm a grown man now. I lost my mama, 13 years ago. So I'm a grown ass man. So I had forgotten the pot even existed. Grandma done moved twice. So my mama started taking these opiates, these oxycodones on a regular basis, and she had got used to taking them, oxycodones and some shit called somas. Man, tell me why. Instantly, my mama started itching. She took them, cause she overdosed and she would like to go to sleep for 2-3 days at a fucking time. Man, mama took the motherfuckers and she woke up. She had the junkyard itch again. She was itching her ass off. And she like, oh, mama still got that pot. I thought you left that pot. And she called my grandma. My grandma said, I don't know where I put that pot in its place. But I knew grandma keep all the shit in the storage, So I was like, Grandma, if you ain't uncovered the thing, I say, it got to be some. So now we go to the store. Me and Grandma go to the store. Get this, people. Like a rat had got in there and chewed through the pillowcase, so it was exposed to the air, to the light and shit. So the demon or the god, whatever she used to fuck with my mama, opened up again. And when my mama started getting high on the oxycodones and shit, it did its job, and it was just a little nibble in it. Like they didn't really open the bitch up. They just chewed holes in it so they can go in there and play around with it, because the shit was like 10-15 years old. So grandma said, get me that pillowcase. And at that time there was no more white pillowcases. She had the orange pillowcases because she worked at the hotel. And they would give you the ugly ass kind of sherbet orange pillowcases. So grandma said, well, this gonna have to do. So she covered it up with the sherbet orange pillowcase and she tied a knot. So she put 2 of them around it. So now it's not all white. So my mama is still itching, but not so bad. And my mama died with a fucked up skin on her back because she used to always take the little itch hand and go back there and scratch it. The little fake little itch hand, I call it like the butt scratcher, they call it. And she would scratch her back with that because it wasn't a white pillowcase. And grandma said that's good for her ass, make her suffer for trying to get back on that shit. And my mama always had that itch, because grandma put a spell on her own daughter to stop her from using drugs. Now, that's not the end of the story. Let's get back on Claudette ass. Because me and grandma stumped the fuck out of that bitch head with some sand spurs and some braided hair. So now we still got this braided hair. And grandma carried that braided hair in every car she got. The Buick, the Honda. She would have that bitch in her glove box. She had the hair so long it started turning red like dry rot. And every time she would see Claudette, she would throw it on the ground and tell me to stomp on it. And I would step on it. Or if grandma was mad, she was stepping on it, because she always blamed Claudette for my mama getting on drugs. Because that was my mama's best friend since like they turned 18, 19 years old. That was my mama's best friend. My grandma always blamed Claudette for that shit. So Claudette never had any peace. Claudette used to come over there, and she used to keep her head cut short, and you could see the marks. She'd like shave her head and she'd keep it like a little fuzzy tennis ball. But she would, she Jamaican, so she know how to fix that shit up. Put the little glitter in that motherfucker, get the little lines and fade it out. She was probably the first woman back in the day to have the old Tiffany Haddish bald head shit. And Claudette jazzed it up, and she stayed in the club to this day. I went to the motherfucking reggae club chilling. And Claudette in that bitch 70 years old, still got her shape, still got her figure, still winding dancehall queen. Probably done fucked every Jamaican nigga in the bitch over the course of 50, 60 years. So when grandma passed and all her effects was cleaned, and we burned some of grandma's effects, I saw the hair from Claudette that grandma kept, when I burned it. And I think when I burnt that hair, because Claudette passed away a little bit after I burnt that hair. I burnt the pot, I burnt the hair, and all that shit, because You know, my mama died a year before grandma. Then grandma followed her. So when grandma passed away, I burnt all the shit. Claudette came to the funeral, and right after we cleaned out the shed and the storage and burnt that shit, Claudette ended up passing away less than 2-3 months later. Just walked up and died in her sleep. Just like died. She never had a car. She was always on the city bus or something like that. But they said she just went home and she just sat down in the chair and just slumped over and died. And they gave the dates. It was literally around by the time I burnt that hair. Now, people, I'm telling you something. There's a lot of our loved ones on drugs. There's a lot of our loved ones pushing people to do drugs. And there's a lot of our loved ones that just can't get their fucking mind together to get off drugs. My grandma had a patented recipe that they put the consequences on the person. If you wanted to get off fucking drugs, grandma put that pot on your ass, and if you touch a drug, you gonna itch like fuck. And she had a double spell that go double whammy with it, in which I just told you how to do it. If your friend, you got one of them friends that keep pushing your kids to do them drugs and shit to get high, get some of their shit and braid it up with them sand spurs and watch what motherfucking happen. I'm finna let you go, people. I don't know if that was spooky, but damn sure entertaining, damn sure educational, informative. Alright, everybody, I'm tight. Telling you sometime the truth is stranger than fiction, but it's the truth, no doubt. Take care, God bless, much love. And remember, some of us do be itching for a scratch. Stay safe.